I literally just sang the intro song to this podcast to myself just to like get me vamped into the recording mindset because obviously, as you can tell, my 2 listeners, I missed you, but I was gone last week and I didn't have an episode last week. Mostly because, and I'm just gonna make this real short and sweet because I hate coming on here sometimes just being all like depressed and like pessimistic. You know what I mean? Like, I want to come here with happy thoughts and happy vibes because that's what most people go to podcasts. What? They come to hear people wow. They come here to hear people speak clear English and to help them throughout either their work day or just throughout their day like I do. So I'm not gonna come on here and be all sappy and just, whatever. But the reason I wasn't here last week, it was just because I wanted to so badly, but I just feel like I wanted it to be much more professional in a sense. Like the background and where I was sitting, it all just felt uncomfortable. And although I am in my room and my podcast is called Misfits Room for a reason because I'm letting you into my world, at the same time, I wanted to show you guys, the video people, most of all, the I wanted to show a professional side. I didn't want to show my messy room. And sometimes my room can get messy and that's a normal thing, but I don't want to put that part of my life out there. So I said, you know what? I'm coming in with a backdrop. And like this backdrop, I love it. Although I would have not chosen purple. Purple was the only one in this specific background sort of thing that was available. I would have chosen like a beigey, gray, brown sort of thing. Like the theme like within my logo or whatever, but they didn't have that. And this like other thing that I had picked up had like wrinkles in it, and I said, you about to make me lose my shit. No, I'm gonna do purple, and we're just gonna do purple for the one time anyways, and we're just gonna get it done, and we're just gonna get it over with, and we're just gonna move on, and we'll see if I can find the specific color that I'm looking for on Walmart or on Amazon, and I'll just buy it and we'll fix it next week. But for this week, we are here with a purple backdrop. We're gonna figure this thing out because if I'm not happy, this podcasting is not gonna happen. This made me happy, although it's purple. It still made me happy because you can't see all the mess that's going on behind me. Not that my room's a mess, because I did clean today, but my desk is a mess, but you can't see it, so anyways, that is why I was not here last week, although I know none of you care, my 2 listeners. Boy, I got some loyal listeners. The both of you that are out there listening, I love you guys so much. Current reason why I'm also happy right now is because there's nobody in my house today. Finally. Am I the only one who gets uncomfortable? Even like just doing random daily things or whatever, like making a Snapchat or whatever, making an Instagram or whatever, just like in the comfort of my own room, knowing that nobody cares what the fuck I'm doing. I still get like shy, even though I'm in my own room. Like I can scream, do whatever in my room, and I just get like stage fright in my room. And so I was just like, But like everybody's gone. Well, my dog is still here, and he's knocked down. He's so cute. I won't give him a bone after this, but literally nobody's in here. It's so quiet, and I just feel like I can let myself be loose and free and loud and like not be self-conscious or like subconsciously thinking like, oh, they're hearing me and they're gonna think that I'm stupid, although I don't care. But it's just like a mindset that it's just I don't know, I feel like it is instilled in me since like birth or something. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's society, maybe it's science, I don't know, but that's just how I was feeling. But I feel really good right now. I did some makeup today to match my background, little purple moment. My hair is still looking good after a week, thriving. This bright ass light is making my face look not so greasy when it is a little bit greasy, but we're just gonna make it work. We're gonna work through it. I'm gonna work through it. And I got my wine. You know what? The day that I can say that I've made it is when I get a sponsorship from this wine company that I like drinking. Did you hear all that mouth noise that's coming out of my mouth? Jesus Christ. Anyways, I love me some wine. I have some in here. You can't really see because I'm almost at the end, and I'm going to refill it in a bit, but we're just going to take a moment of silence. Really savor it, And let's get into today's episode, because what are you guys really here for but probably like a 30 to 45 to maybe an hour worth of audio content to get you through your day, as I would. Like, Literally, am I the only one who listens to like podcasts at my job? I like have to. I have to listen to something or else I will completely lose my mind. That used to like be music. Like I could listen to music all day and be fine and like get through the day. But like now that since I've discovered podcasts and when they're like an hour long or sometimes maybe even two, I'm just like, oh my God, thank God. Especially when it's people that I like. I get these hour-long podcasts, 2-hour-long podcasts, an hour and a half, whatever it is. But it's so good just listening to them at work because it just helps. First of all, hold on a second, because my mom making a lot of noise right now. But like I was saying, I just like having those long episodes of podcasts just to help me get through the day because while I'm working on the computer, I have some that's just I'm listening to something as if I'm like talking to a friend or something. I don't even know how to explain it, but I just love podcasts. They get me through the day. What, you work 8 hours a day, and I kind of go through maybe 4, sometimes 6, depending on how long the podcasts are, ish worth of content, and I like it. It helps me get through the day. I wish there was just more podcasts out there. Like I have my specific ones, and then when I like someone, I'll listen to all of their catalog. Like if I just discovered them now, I'm listening to all of their episodes from like years ago, and then getting caught up, and then I'm depressed for the next month because I've binged everything and I've listened to everything, and then I have nothing to listen to. So it's just like, and I can't listen to the same thing twice. Like, that's just not me. I can't do it. Like, videos and movies. Well, movies sometimes, but I can't listen or watch something more than once unless it's music. Like, I'm not going to re-listen to a podcast because, like, I already heard it. I don't want to hear it again. So, but yeah, that's that. I love podcasts for that same reason. I'm doing it right now, and I hope that I can bring that same joy that podcasters bring to me, even though I'm just talking about complete and utter nonsense and just bullshit, because like none of my things are going to be educational. I don't think, as of right now. None of it is going to provide I might provide advice here and there, unwanted advice at the most, but advice nonetheless. I could provide you some stories, some whatever, and just kind of provide an escape. I'm not going to be educational, and I don't come here looking for a role model because that's not me. But if you look up to me, what am I even saying? Nobody looks up to me. Anyways, moving on, because what let the record show that prior to starting this episode, I did have 2 glasses of wine. The cup wasn't filled all the way. It was like a little more than half because I just don't like holding a full glass of wine, but I've had about 2. And I'm almost done with my 3rd one. So if I get a little controversial or whatever, just know I didn't mean it. It's all in good fun. All right. It is all in good fun. So I don't know. You know what? Another thing is that the frustrating part about doing this podcast thing is not knowing what to talk about, because when I first started it, I thought that I was going to just like, I'm going to write everything I want to talk about. I'm going to have a specific topic every week, and it's just going to be bam, bam, bam. But like, that's not me. I can't do a specific schedule. I can do a specific schedule, but I can't do a specific topic I can't specifically write out this and this. Like, I can't do it. Like, I want to be able to just freely express myself and it just be new and different every week. Like, I love true crime podcasts, and I love beauty and all sorts of podcasts I do, but like, I don't have a specific topics that I want to talk about. Like, that's just, I can't do it. So that was one thing that was frustrating me, because I felt like I had to do that, but I don't have to do that. So here I am talking about still nonsense for like the past 7 minutes, but that's okay. That's quite all right. Yeah, just the sheer fact of feeling like I'm limiting myself. That's another thing that like last week I got into my head, and I was just like, this is too much. And I've only done like 6 episodes. I'm like, why is it that much? And the crazy thing is that maybe if I were like, I was like, if I were a mom, this would be so much easier, because this would be a mommy podcast. And I would talk about my babies, and I would talk about these specific products that I use, and my bedtime story this, and my kitchen this, and whatever. I feed my children that, and all these other BS that I don't. I literally like, I don't have any specific. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I like makeup and I do makeup. I don't do makeup professionally, but I could if you wanted to pay me some money and like sign an NDA and just, whatever happens with the makeup. But I like to do makeup. I like to dress up and do fashion. I like to model for pics on Instagram and pretend to be an influencer here and there. I like music. I like a whole bunch. I like a plethora of things. What? Plethora of things. And I feel like just from the get-go putting myself into a box is just like, I can't do that. Like, I can create my own box like I probably am right now, and like a few years from now I'll be known as something, but I don't want to make a box. Oh, godly, I'm hitting everything right now. I'm making so much noise. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't want to make a box and limit myself. I feel like my box is being created. I don't want to I don't want to limit myself. So if my podcast feels scattered and all over the place, just bear with me, or if not, just, find another podcast to listen to, because I don't come here with very clear thoughts or very clear ideas as to what I'm doing. I just want it to feel like literally as if you're at work and you want to talk to your best friend because you'd rather not be at work right now. That's what I am. I'm talking about every and anything that I want to, and I feel like past episodes, that's why it felt a slight bit inauthentic and slightly unenthusiastic and just slightly unentertaining, although I don't want to say that about my podcast, but it was. And I just want to be free, and the whole point of having this podcast from the get-go was to just be Misfit in Misfit's room, doing literally being me. And like these past couple episodes, I was like, am I really being me, or am I being the me that I want other people to think? Like, you know what I mean? It was a back and forth, but now I feel like I have a better understanding of what I want, and that is just whatever it is that I want it to be. And some days I'm gonna have good days, and some days I'm gonna have bad days. So what can I do? And some days I want to drink wine every freaking episode, because why? I don't know. It just made me feel better. Let's just see. Let's just start a bet, a pool, or whatever you call it, of how long or whichever episode do you think it's gonna take for me to get to a point where I'm like batshit drunk and like the episode is just off the walls. Let's just bet. I want to bet. I gotta be comfortable. I gotta be several episodes in. So I feel like we're gonna go to episode 50. If I haven't blacked out and like just lost my shit on a podcast by episode 50, something's wrong. Also, while we're on the topic of wine, let's talk about it. Because for some reason, I'm being made feel weird or like a weirdo, because I, for some reason, like my red wine, my sweet red wine, from my favorite special wine. And man, the day that they sponsor me, that's it, I made it. But the specific red wine from Walmart called Sutter Home Sweet red wine. I don't know why I can't talk like that. I feel like I can't, like, is it alliterate? Enunciate? I think it's enunciate. Like L's and specific consonants, I can't say it for some reason. Anyways, back to my story. Sutter Homes, the $8 to $9 price Sutter Home big bottle from Walmart sweet red wine. That's my girl, and it's a shame that I didn't find out about her up until a couple months ago. But she's been around for a long time, and she helps a lot, because instead of spending like $20 to $40 on a freaking liquor bottle, and then also buying juice to mix it, or this and that to mix it, wine all in one. And all you need probably is half a bottle. Or if you're lightweight or haven't eaten anything at all within a couple of hours, all you need is half a bottle, or maybe even less. So back to what I was saying, because I was running off and I don't know what I was talking about. And I remember, okay, so like I've been feeling like, or my friends have been insinuating that, okay, how do I say this? I'm like lost already. I like my wine room temp. I don't like it cold. I don't like it chilled. I don't like it sitting in ice. I don't like it, and I don't know why. I've had it. I've tried it. Put it in the refrigerator after I open it. Like, I've done that with, like, what is it, Moscato? Pink Moscato. I don't like pink Moscato. It's too sweet. But I've tried the whole, putting the wine in the refrigerator, taking it out, having a nice cold glass of wine. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not I don't know why it is, but I don't like it. Maybe because I have like sensitive teeth. I don't know. but I just don't like the feel of it in my mouth. It just feels like I don't know. Like if it's gonna be like a cold alcohol, like I'd rather it be like liquor or something, or like a bubbly beer. But I just don't like my wine cold. It's so weird. Well, I don't think it's weird, but my friends think it's weird. Like one of my friends, I went over to her house the other day, and I brought my wine because I don't know what she drinks. I was like, I'm just gonna bring my wine and whatever. It's my drink, and I'm gonna take it back home with me when I leave. So I come and I bring it, and I'm like, where'd my wine bottle go? And she's like, oh, I put it in the refrigerator. I said, are you mad? What do you mean it's in the refrigerator right now? She's like, because that's where it goes. And I said, no, ma'am. I like my wine room temp. No, we don't. Room temp wine isn't a thing. I like my wine room temp. She looked at me as if I was the craziest human being alive. I don't know what it is about just wine. It just gives it body. It just gives it definition. It just, for me, it just feels like, I don't know. Like, for instance, scotch. Well, yeah. Some people drink scotch or whiskey or whatever it is, dark liquor, straight out of the bottle, straight in a cup without ice. That's how I feel about wine sometimes. It just feels and tastes a lot more. It just feels like richer. It just feels like wine instead of like weird juice when it comes out of the refrigerator. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So if you are like me and you like your wine room temp, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. And for those of you who like your wine chilled from the refrigerator, or some people even put ice in it, go fuck yourself. Because what the fuck is wrong with you? You're weird. What? Who puts ice? Who puts ice in wine? Let's talk about that. The people who put ice in their wine has something coming to them, because when you put ice in wine, you're basically diluting it and making it not wine anymore. It's different when you put juice and alcohol, or not juice and liquor, same shit. What am I talking about? Alcohol, liquor. Anyways, when you put juice and liquor and ice into a cup, that's different. That's a mixture. That's supposed to happen. And sometimes bartenders are way too heavy-handed and like make the drink too strong. So you bless me with all the ice that you want, because by the end of the day, I'm chugging my freaking drink when all the ice melts, because that's when it's good. You don't put ice in wine. You don't. That's weird. That's psychotic. Whoever does, like, okay, fine, put your wine in the refrigerator, let it cool, take a glass and put it back. Don't put ice in wine. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not a cocktail unless it's like a freaking like a mix, like what is this, a spritzer, or like to my tongue. It's not mimosa. You can make mimosa with wine ish kind of. It's not mimosa. I'm like sangria. Sure, fine, because you're putting all the things into it. But plain wine, no. Like who and why and no. Stop. See, now I'm done. And I'm going to bust out my bottle. You see this bottle right here? Sorry for you audio listeners, but I'm holding up right now, but you can hear it. This Sutter Home California red wine. I love this baby. I can bet money that I am the only one that goes to this Walmart and gets this, because most of the time it's still like the last bottle that I took, like that's how much is left. And once it's all gone, that's me. It's literally me. Once I'm done with this, and it'll probably be like maybe 3 days from now, I'll be finished. I'm going to try and hold off and not try to drink wine all the time. But then in my mind, I'm like, but doctors do sometimes recommend just like 1 glass of wine a day or every other day. So like, I can't fault myself for it, you know? So this Sutter Home Family Vineyards, if you ever want to reach out to me, and give me a coupon at least. Like, you don't have to give me money and sponsor me. You can just give me a coupon, and that's fine with me. And I'll talk about your wine all day long. I love me some of this sweet red wine. You know why I like wine specifically? We're just going to talk about wine for the next 10 minutes, and then we're going to move on. Let's just pour this. Okay. ASMR. Oh. Sounds like somebody's peeing. I do this weird thing. I just did it on camera too, but I do this weird thing where like when I'm done pouring and I pull the bottle back, you know, sometimes liquid falls out the little spout Well, I tend to like lick it off because I don't want it to drip down the bottle, but it's kind of unnecessary. But like, it's been a habit that I've made now that I can't stop doing it. So we're here. Anyways. Oh my god. You video watchers, you just saw that. Any of my glasses wearing people out there, whenever you take off your glasses, do you sometimes feel like you still have them on up until a point where you feel like they're sliding on your face and you gotta push them back? I just did that, but I don't have my glasses on. It's like a subtle. I felt it like I felt like my glasses were falling off my face, but they weren't. They're not even on my face right now, and I just did like a little like try to touch the bridge of my nose or whatever and like push it back up on my face. I don't have my glasses on. That's happened to me plethora. My new word of the year is plethora, but it's happened to me numerous of times where I feel like I have my glasses on because they're so lightweight and you don't really notice it when you wear them all the time. That I don't know what just happened. I swear to you, I haven't even peaked tipsy yet, but like I do it all the time. It's so embarrassing. But wine. We were talking about wine. So like how I got into wine is let's just tell you. I want to talk to you guys about my journey with alcohol. Why not? Because purple grapes. That's how we make wine, liquor. It's a good segue. So I didn't traditionally do the whole wait until you're 21 to drink, because who does that? When you tell kids not to do something, they're gonna do it anyways, because if you tell them how come and they say no because I said so, they're gonna do it anyways because you didn't tell them why. So actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think there was one time, it's so funny. I think I turned 15, and my mom had like to celebrate my birthday gave me a glass of wine, as in like, oh, you're coming into your age. It was either 15 or 16, I forget, one of those, 15 or 16. But she gave me like a glass of wine, like we drank a glass of wine together to like celebrate the coming of age or some BS or whatever like that. And she gave me a red wine. Here's the thing about red wines. We're gonna have to cut for a second. I forget that the camera only holds a certain amount of like memory and then it has to restart and do another clip, so I just had to take a break. But we're back, and what I was talking about was that my mom had given me a glass of wine to like bring me into my birthday. I already said that, whatever. And here's the thing. There's a difference within red wine. There's wine that is so dry and unsweet and it just sits. I don't know how else to explain it, but like it just sits like a lump in your throat, and I hate it so much. She had the sheer audacity to give me that as if it was gonna sway me into not drinking. Okay, but then again, she likes that stuff. But it was just like the audacity, like, oh, I'm gonna give you the bad wine so you don't feel like drinking. So she gave me that. It worked because that shit was nasty. It was so gross. It sat on my throat. I only had one sip, and I was like, you could take this back. I'm good. I'm chilling. I don't want that. I think that was like 15, 16. And then I think she did that to me once more. I can't remember. No, I don't think so. I think there was one time where I probably turned either 17, probably, I think it was 16. She had let me take a drink of beer. Hated beer. Beer was nasty. Why do people drink this? It's like soda with no taste. It's just bubbles and like what is that? So I had that, didn't like it. The thought of liquor, beer, all of it, alcohol did not cross my mind for several years. Well, several years, and I was 16, and I'm talking years, probably like months or a year and a half or whatever. But when I started to live on my own, I was probably like 17 or 18. I didn't do none of that because, first of all, I couldn't buy it because I was underage, and like my ID, like, it wasn't gonna happen. But I did end up meeting friends or whatever that could, and there was this one specific friend where he would come over and we would hang out, and he would sometimes like bring a bottle. But like, I don't drink, and I've never drinking anything. Like, I'm not that kind of wild person who was younger and like would wild out. Like, that's just not me. It's never been me. So he would come over sometimes and like, oh, I got this either Parmesan or Parmesan. He would call it stupid stuff just to like, because he knew I didn't drink. But he would bring me stuff, and he'd bring his own bottle. But anyway, so he would bring his shit, and he would like pour himself some, and then I would like go and pour myself some drink. I don't know how to drink because I don't know how specifically to make the drink. So I would put all the soda into the cup, about a third of soda, and then first I put ice, soda, and then the liquor in it. And then he would just make fun of me all the time, and I didn't know why. I never got drunk off of it. I never felt anything off it because I was doing the whole thing wrong. I didn't have a formula for it. Like, I just could never get drunk because I probably put like a splash of liquor and like nothing ever happened. Nothing. And then, plus, I was pouring it wrong. Like, you're supposed to put the liquor first and then you pour the soda on and then you kind of sip and try to, figure it out from there. I didn't know none of that. So that was probably when I was like 18 ish, around those lines. He would come over every now and then, every couple months. I didn't see him often, but when he did, he knew that I was like, oh, like, bring some liquor or whatever, like, let's get lit. And then he would bring it, knowing damn well that I would never. And I think one day I ended up buying a bottle from him because I couldn't go and get it myself, but he could. So I had sent him the money to go get me one, and then he gave it to me, and I had it in my house. And then every other couple months when he would come over, the bottle was still sort of semi full, and he's like, so what's happening here, homie? What's going on? I was like, I'm chilling, we just taking shots and sipping, and literally it looked like I barely touched the bottle, but like I didn't know how to, I don't know, and drinking just never came across like to me, like I don't know, it just didn't come to me naturally like that. So fast forward up until probably no, I didn't drink after that much. It was probably around when I was 20, maybe. Probably. It was mostly like here and there sometimes, like with friends or whatever, but I wasn't getting like blackout drunk. And then, what, come to think about it, I didn't get fully like effed up until I actually turned 21 and I went and got it myself. I never felt crunk. None of it. I was never off the charts, black. None of it up until after 21. That's so weird. Like, I'm such a late bloomer, but I didn't have that until I was 21, and I actually went and bought myself a bottle to celebrate. I don't think that night I was buck wild and did whatever. But a couple weeks after that, when I started to like, I can buy it myself now, and it just meant something else when I went and bought it, that I just wanted to drink it and have some fun. And I remember this one time, it's funny because I didn't start like getting drunk at the club up until like this past year, even like a little bit. No, this past year, because we're 2021. Yeah, 2020 didn't, nothing happened. But this past year, I actually mid-pandemic at my house. Not at my house. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? At the club. I didn't get club drunk up until this year. But my first real actual drunk was at my own house. My favorite drink of choice was literally orange juice and vodka. Orange juice and vodka from, what is it? Absolute. The brand was called Absolute. I would get that like they were never going to sell it again. I was always getting Absolute. And then I came across Tito's and I said, ooh, Tito's, you taste like nothing, and if I mix you right, I would never know. And Tito's, sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes you can't tell at all. And then you don't know you're drunk until like it snaps, and then you're like, oh shit, wait, what? And like you're literally confused by the time you're drunk. But I think my first bottle that I ever bought would probably have to be a dark liquor. I don't know. I think it's because the friend that would bring me liquor, he would always have the dark liquor with him, so I would get that. And I think the first one that I got was Captain Morgan. Is it Captain Morgan? I think it's called Captain Morgan. I forget who it was. I was probably like trying to copy a friend who would like tell me their like drunk stories or whatever, and like all the drinks that they would drink. So I think that's the primary. I didn't have a rhyme or reason as to why I went and got Captain Morgan. I don't know why, but I went and I got it, and it's just brown liquor. It's just so hard to mix. Like, brown liquor are for people who want to taste brown liquor, as opposed to like clear vodka and stuff where you can't really taste it. That's kind of my vibe. So I'll do the dark liquor, but like you have to be wanting to taste it. You know what I mean? And it's not that easy to just like dilute and pretend like it doesn't exist. On the other hand, clear liquor, you can work with it, and it could be a fruity drink and you would never know. But I think I got a Captain Morgan, and then I think I one time got, or I was about to, I can't remember, Crown Royal. I was just trying to copy my friends and trying to be hip and do whatever they were doing, although they were many years older than me, and I was just trying to get with the crowd. But I didn't like Crown Royal for nothing. I think my one friend likes the green apple Crown Royal. I was like, this just tastes like a weird green Jolly Rancher, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I'm nope, never again will ever drink it. I mean, I could, but I'm not picking it up. I'm not making it a point to go get it. It's just not me. But Absolute Vodka, Tito's. I love me some Tito's. I haven't had Tito's in a long time because, me and my wine, we've been making strides. We've been good. We're not arguing. I'm talking like we're dating. But yeah, I haven't had vodka. Actually, no. Whenever I do go out to a club, though, I get vodka Red Bull or vodka with cranberry. More so vodka with cranberry. That's my go-to. Always get it. It's great. Never fails. No matter where you go, a vodka with cranberry is always good. Except when I'm like at a restaurant. That's when I get a margarita. Or that's when I get a fruity whatever it is with tequila in it. That is my shiznit. I love me some margaritas. I don't know what it is about margaritas. I love it. But people who put salt on the rim, why? Like, I like genuinely want to know why. What does it do for you? What sensation? Does it make you get drunk? Does it make you sober? What's the purpose of the salt? Asking for a friend. I would really like to know why. I see no rhyme or reason to it, but I commend you people who can do it. I cannot do it to save my life. It's like putting sour and salty. Like, no. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why people like it. I don't like it. Maybe like little sugar bits, maybe, but no. And Fireball? You people who like Fireball? Y'all can go dig a ditch and fall in it, because what is that? My mom likes Fireball. That's so ew. Why are you? It's like cinnamon spicy. It's just wrong on all levels. It's just wrong. It'll never. No. There's no reason why alcohol should be spicy. And it's just so, what it tastes like to me? Those gums from like early childhood. I don't know if people still like do it or chew it now. But there's this gum that would come in a red packet, and it was just cinnamon. Is it cinnamon? I feel like the flavor is cinnamon, but it was like cinnamon fire. I think it was called like hot red or something like that. A gum that came in a red package. That was. You ever ask for a friend back in those days when you were younger for gum? Not even your friends, because your friends, they weren't on that level. But the semi-older people, when you're out and about with your mom and their friends or whatever, and you ask them if they have gum, and they bust out this flaming hot red gum, they can also go dig a hole and fall in it. Because what is that? It's criminal. It's criminal. Who does that? It's so weird. It's so gross, and it makes no sense at all. You might as well bite into a chili pepper and call it a day and just like go home. Like, what? Why? No. So Fireball, never want to see it, never want to drink it. I don't even know. No, ma'am. That's not me. That is not me at all. But yeah, I think I went off on a tangent there. But yeah, I did not get plastered. I'm talking plastered until I was 21. That is hilarious. For some reason, I thought that I did before that, but I didn't. Mostly because I couldn't buy it. So like, I would get some for friends, and like, I don't want to like. I'm not that person to like, oh, if you're gonna come and bring your drinks to my house, I'm gonna like drink it. Like, I don't know. That's not me. Like, I'd rather have my own stuff for me. Like, I have my wine. I bring my wine bottle with me, and I drink my wine because I know nobody else wants wine. I'm the only weird one that wants wine. You know why? Because nobody else wants it. So they're not going to be like, oh, let me get a sip of that. Oh, let me put that in my drink. Oh, let me make it. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody is going to want my wine, especially my room temperature as wine. That is why I always have a drink for me. You want to talk about cheap? I'm so cheap. I don't like to share. I don't share. That's not me. I don't do that. Share. The singer Cher, she could share. I don't share. I like that is primarily the reason why I feel like now that I'm like speaking it into the universe right now, I think that's mainly the reason why I bring my wine, because I don't like to share liquor and all the other stuff with other people. It's just not me. Wow. we're getting to the nitty gritty of it. I didn't realize I had so many problems. So funny. My makeup right now is like, she's still giving. I think I did my makeup probably, I started around maybe like 4:30, finished around 5ish, 5:30ish or whatever, and then I didn't really start recording this video up until like 7ish. So I was just sitting around doing nothing because people are in my house, and I knew they were planning to leave anyway. So now I have silence in my house, yet I make all the noise in the world. I should have cleaned my desk. That's mainly the reason why. I just have so much shit I just have scattered all over my desk. I'm the type of person where, like, I can't sit still. I mean, I can, but, like, my mind has to be occupied. So sometimes I pick something up, or, like, I don't know. I don't know. Even just, like, touching my hair. I can't, like, I just don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I need my hands to do something, or else I don't know. I'm just going to try and put my hands on my knees, like first graders would do in class, and just try to remain calm. So, what else is there to talk about? See, this is part of the reason why I feel like I should have something set and like organized topics. But at the same time, I don't want to feel scripted. So maybe here and there, like, I'll have like a couple of topics to reference just in case a moment like this happens where like I talk and talk and talk, and then I'm like, all right, I talked about everything I want to talk about. But like I still only did like 20 minutes. It's so hard doing a podcast by yourself. For some reason, I was like, it'll be fine. I make YouTube videos. But YouTube videos, you can cut and cut and cut and cut and cut, and it'll all make sense afterwards. And you can repeat the same sentence 5 times and make it perfect, and cut everything and paste everything together, and it'll all make sense. But in this podcast, although I still do cut it sometimes, just because I just sit here sometimes, just like, what else do I talk about? And I'm not going to leave that into the podcast. Who in their right mind? But I don't want to always cut, and you know what I mean? So I don't know, but yeah, isn't it crazy? We're gonna get a little, I'm gonna bring the room down a little bit, because a crazy thought that always occurs to me every now and then is like, you don't feel old. Like me right now, I don't feel old. I still feel like me from like 3 years ago. Like I still feel me. I don't feel like I'm 10 anymore, but I don't feel like I'm so old. You know what I mean? So, like, there are moments where, like, you look at your little sibling or your mom or whatever, whoever it may be, like your aunt or your cousin, and you're looking at them, like, especially, like, the young people, like my cousin and, like, my sister, who are much younger than me, you look at them like, dang, you look like you're getting, like, mature. And then when that comes out of my mouth, it's just like, oh, my God, that means I'm getting old. Holy mother of God, what am I doing? Mind you, I was born in 98, 2 years away from 2000. Simple math. But I was born in 98. For some reason, I feel like 90s is a completely different thing from the 2000s. There's some sort of cusp or whatever that I'm in, but like I'm 98, and like everybody else, like my other, like I'm the oldest one out of all my cousins, I think, for the most part. Yeah. So like everybody else born in like the 2000s or whatever, I'm just like, oh my God, they're babies. And like looking at them now, it's just like, my sister could probably, she could get her permit right now if she wants to, but the generation after me, I don't know what the heck happened. Nobody feels like they needed permit or a driver's license. My cousin, I think, is probably turning 17, no license or whatever. I said, what? First thing I did when I turned 15, I said, get me into that driver's ed class, because I need my license ASAP. Even though I didn't have a car. But I was going to manifest it. I manifested it. I went and took my classes. I failed the first test, but I passed the second test. I failed the first driving test because I had a driving instructor. Let me tell you about this driving instructor. We're going to go on another tangent. I cannot believe my first driving test I failed because this driving instructor had it out for me from the get-go, and she can suck it. If she's watching right now, whatever your name is, Becky, suck it. Okay, so let me take you back to when I was about, I think I was 16. Did I? No, I didn't. I'm gonna just take you back to when I was about 16, maybe, I think. And it was about that time where I was like, all right, I had my permit for a year, so it means that I can go and get my driver's license. Like, hello, let's go. So I go to get my permit, and I already did the written test at my school, which is fine and good and whatever, which allows me to go to the DMV and do the actual in real life driving. I get there, it takes forever, whatever, that's not the point. It's always going to take wherever. Government facilities like that, I can't stand them, and whenever I have to go to them, take a deep breath and plan accordingly, because that entire day is not yours. Anyways, get there, everybody's, whatever, not everybody's nice, because, government job. Anyway, so I get there, and it's time for my test, and I go out, and I'm driving my dad's car at the time. Mind you, my dad's car at the time had no AC. The AC was broken. Well, it did work, but it only blew out hot air. And there would be moments, if you just fiddle with it and jiggle it and just pray and fiddle with it for about like 5 minutes, there's a good chance on good days where you would get cold air. On this particular day, it said no. It's hot air. So I didn't have any AC. My windows were rolled down, and it was hot. It was a hot Florida day. And I pulled up in my dad's little beat up little small car, and I'm getting in there, and it's a roll down window. It's not an automatic, it's a roll down, and I just roll it down, and I just wait for her to get there. I'm like, all right, here we go. Yeah, I had to drive to the course. I think I had to drive to the course, which is like another thing. It was just like, hello, if I could drive to the course that's like 2 feet away, I could practically drive. Anyways, I go to the course. The lady gets into my car. And since that moment, she had it out for me because I didn't have it nice and cool and chill for her. But whatever, I'm just gonna put a smile on my face and pretend like none of it is affecting me. She had me do the lights, whatever, the back lights. I think honk the horn and what, some like all the technical stuff with the car. Fine. She gets in the car, and we're driving around in this little course. It's a little course. It's like a track. Imagine like a track and field track, a little circle, probably like that with like a middle lane in it with like stop signs everywhere. Anyways, we're doing that. Everything's going great. Turn here, turn there, whatever. I'm doing great. Amazing. Awesome. We get to the end of it, and she's like, all right, you can go ahead and exit the course. And I'm like, and mind you, there's a stop sign. There's a freaking stop sign right at the exit, like slightly, like probably like 5 feet before the exit. So like, whatever. And she's like, okay, you can go ahead and exit now. So I'm like, just go. And she's like, yeah, just like, you can exit the course now. I'm like, just okay. And I just literally, I go past the stop sign, and it was like within the course, so like nobody was gonna be out there. So I was like, all right. And I like left, and I was like probably like 2 feet out of whatever, and she got out, and we were done. So I'm like, was I supposed to stop? Or she said to exit. I mean, everything else pretty much felt fine. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. It felt good. I was like, a little weird, but she probably might let it go. I don't really know. Anyways, so I go back inside, and I wait my turn. And then she comes up to me, or I go up to the counter. She's like, how do you think I did? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I think I did pretty good. She's like, well, you failed. You didn't stop at the last stop sign, and every other stop sign you kind of like rolled. You didn't really stop for like 3 to 5 seconds, or whatever the 5-second shit is. She's like, so you could always come back next week or whatever, and like retake the test. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then the part of these government run facilities is that you have to pay for the stupid test you didn't pass. How does that make any sense? Like, all right, thank you for giving me an F. Thank you for not giving my driver's license. I gotta pay you now. I think I paid her like $40-$50. What? Who, why, and what? She just wanted, I just basically gave her a tip for being an asshole the whole time. So I was just like, you know what? All right. She had it out for me from the get-go. And I said, all right, cool. Never mind. All right. It's all right. And I went home, and I didn't go back to that one. I had told a friend or something about what had happened. And they're like, oh, why did you go there? That place sucks. Like, you need to go to this one a couple like miles up north, and they are so nice. They could give a fuck about what you do. Just as long as you smile and you get the black person, you'll be all right. And I said, cool. So I think it was around my birthday or something like that. I'm not sure. I think it was around my birthday, where I had already like bought a car. Here's a crazy thing. I'm gonna admit to a crime right now. I had bought my own car with my own money because I was working, but I didn't have a driver's license. I would just go drive to and from like work and school and occasionally out here, whatever, but I didn't have a driver's license, so that was illegal. Anyway, so I took my own car there to like make sure that I wasn't gonna get into any trouble. I brought a friend with me who already had their driver's license, just in case, like, oh, who drove you here? And I just want to show up and drive by myself. And like, if I fail, I'm just leaving by myself. It looks weird. Anyway, so I just brought a friend. Didn't matter. Oh, and we're gonna have to take another break because the camera said we gotta take a break. All right, and we're back. So, but yes, trying to remember where I'm at. So yes, we go to the other facility, and I get there and I'm super early. It's a smaller facility, not a lot of people are there, and I'm thank goodness I'm early because the line eventually did get long, but it's a smaller facility. It's not like the other one where like the entire county where I was at was going there, and I said but anyways, I went there. It was nice and chill, and I was crossing my fingers, and I was like, I just need a black woman because I know me and her can relate, because me and Becky didn't understand. That wasn't my car and I couldn't control the AC or whatever. And that was why she was mad. I just need a black woman. Or just one of the nice. Or even the black man. Whichever one. Because I just know. Just please. I was going off of everybody else. Because they're like, you got to get this specific lady because she's so sweet. And blah, 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 blah. They probably might shut down that location because maybe they shouldn't just be giving out driver's license willy-nilly. But anyways, by the grace of the almighty or whatever is out there, I got the black lady, and I said, oh thank goodness. All right. And she comes out, she's all happy, and I'm not a morning person, but she's all happy, and I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Let's just hope that my not morning person doesn't piss her off. Anyways, we get into the car, and it was pretty good. She ended up making me do this like 3-point turn. I never did it with the other lady, but she made me do it, and I did it. And anyways, I did the whole course, whatever. It was fine. It was good. And then while we were in the car, she was like, you're driving pretty much, you're driving is pretty much great. You're doing really good. 3-point turn was all right. The only thing that I would say is that you got to use your blinkers when you're doing the 3-point turn. First of all, nobody ever does that in real life. But anyways, she's like, just don't forget to use your blinkers when you're doing the 3-point turn. But other than that, you're ready to drive. And I said, all right, cool. She's like, all right, well, you passed. Let's go. And like, let's just go finish the thing. I said, that's it. That's it. Becky, that other lady really had it out for me because I was done like this. And I just did everything right because I know how to drive. It was just like, when you blatantly like just trick people, like that's just foul. Like, obviously, I'm going to do that in real life because I don't want to die when I'm driving. But like, hello. That first lady had it out for me from the get-go. Before she even got into the car, she was like, nah, she was not in a good mood. But second time's a charm. I did great. Never gonna use my blinker or signal, or my God, why can't I talk properly? I'm never gonna use my turning signal lights to do a 3-point turn, because who does that? You kind of just wait until there's nobody within a proximity of you, and you just kind of and then go and like pretend like it never happened, because 3-point turns usually mean that you're far too gone and like you made a mistake and like now you gotta figure out your way to get out. So yeah, second try and I got my driver's license, and from then on I was no longer committing a crime, because I think I went about maybe 2-ish months doing that. Excuse me. Driving without my license, just with my permit. But like, I was smart about it, I wasn't a delinquent. I would go to work and I would go to school and do my thing. I was low-key. I wasn't a bad person. I was a goody two-shoes in some sense. But yeah, got my license. It was great. And after that, I just became an adult, and here I am. God, I am getting so old. I'm only 22. My birthday's in November. I'm a Scorpio. My birthday's in about 2 months, and like, is it 2 months? September, October, November. Yeah, 2 months, and I'm about to be turning 23, and it's so weird to say that. Do you remember like when you were younger, you would like kill, murder to just be older and just do things that you wanted to do because you felt like an adult? Honey, 15, 16, 17, and 18, you are not an adult. You do not know. Stay young while you can, because once you peak at 21, You peak at 21. Once you pass the 21 threshold, you are no longer a kid. You can still wild out and have fun. This is what your 20s are made for. But like, you gotta like make a living, unless you have like parents who like will give you everything. Some parents are like, well, you're of age now, so go get a job and go figure it out. Like, being adult is annoying. Like, I have to work to buy what I want. But at the end of the day, it does feel good to get things that like my parents would normally like say like, no, you can't have it. Like, if I want to drink soda at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. midnight, whatever, at McDonald's, and have a frappe too if I want to, I can do that, because why? I worked for my money and I can do it and I can buy it and I'm old enough to do it. So what? Like, those are the moments sometimes where like it pays off to be older, but at the same time it's like, oh my god, I'm getting so old and I'm only 22, I'm about to be 23, and people who are probably 30, 40 are like, oh, I'm old, but like I feel old even just like looking at like my cousins and my sister. It's just like, damn, I remember when you guys were just like toddlers, when you guys were just like, when you could barely even talk, when you could barely formulate a sentence, and now everybody's talking in school, people writing essays, people learning algebra, doing all this other stuff, and I'm like, At the same time, I miss those days, but at the other times I don't miss those days at all. I might just, I don't know for about anybody else, but for me, I hated, capital H, hated school. Growing up, elementary school, middle school, high school, all of it, I hate it. And if they ever ask me if I would ever redo it, the answer is hell no. Absolutely not. Never in a million years. Not even if you paid me to. I would never do it. No. And it's so crazy because I know for a fact, like, middle school and high school has changed a whole heck of a lot since I've been there. Like, the things that my sister and like the things that my sister and my cousins do, like in my school. Okay, the school that I graduated from, my sister is going there currently now. I went there. I had to wear uniform. I had to wear like a polo tee, like a solid color polo t-shirt with the collars or whatever. My sister now, she's been on virtual school for a year. She went back now this year for the new school year, wearing whatever she wants. Sweatpants, shorts, all of it. They can wear whatever they want. So you're telling me when I was there, 2016, 2017, or just high school in general, when I was there, y'all wanted to make a big fuss about people wearing jeans at school. But now these heifers get to wear sweatpants and shorts and leggings, and because leggings was a big deal too. If you weren't wearing jeans and you were wearing leggings, that was another big deal. And you had to pray that you didn't get caught by one of the administrators wearing leggings or whatever. You had to hope that it looked like pants good enough to pass. But leggings and shirts and tank tops, couldn't wear those. Now my sister literally wakes up, if she wanted to go in her pajamas, she can go in her pajamas and it wouldn't be a problem. Explain that to me. Can we explain that to older Genesis now? Because I am offended, I'm triggered, and I personally feel attacked. It's so crazy to me. It's so weird. I would have never thought. All those kids that would rebel and wear literally whatever they wanted to, they're probably in a better place right now, living life, because they were not goody two shoes like I was. Like, the day that I would wear leggings, I was like, ooh, taboo. Like, ooh, like, it's just risque. And then for other people who would, like, literally do that all the time, it's like their wardrobe and they didn't care. I was, I kid you not, a goody two shoes, but with, like, an edge. You know what I mean? I wasn't all crazy out there. But, like, I'm a goody two shoes with an edge. Like, I'm, you know, like, there'd be a time where, like, I'd show up and I'll wear a legging, or I'll probably wear a jean, but, like, the jeans are so blue. Or even the sheer fact of me being me and being such a goody two-shoes that no one would literally care. Like, I don't even exist. Like, I walked by and nobody knew that I was, like, I went there. Like, I could be wearing an invisible cloak and nobody would know that I was ever there. Nobody would ever know that I graduated, to be honest. Nobody would ever freaking know. I was so just into myself. I had friends, but, like, I'm more of, like, that's just me. I'm like, I can have fun by myself. Like, although I would like friends and it would be nice to have friends, but I don't necessarily get bothered by having to be my own friend and be like by myself. Like, throughout all my life, I've been that person. So it didn't really bother me. But yeah. I was a little risque sometimes, you know. Instead of bringing a backpack, sometimes I would bring a purse. Sometimes I wouldn't even bring one at all. Probably once this school year, maybe twice or three times I think that happened. Or was it towards the end of the school year, senior year, and I like didn't really need to bring anything. So was I really being risque? Who knows? But yeah. Um excuse me. I never ended up doing the senior skip day thing because I literally like had a job. Like I was the good thing about me being a goody two shoes at that point was because was you would think for being a goody two shoes and going to all of my classes that I would have like great English and pronunciation, but like no, I love to stutter for some reason. But I was good at school and I had good grades, good enough to a point where like I had all the advanced classes or whatever. So most of like my classes when I was a senior, like I probably only had like four max because I didn't really like it, you could either choose to have an elective or like just like have the period off and like go home early. So I think it was like halfway or through the last quarter of high school or of my senior year, like I had like literally like half a day. I would go to school for half a days, both days, because they would do like odd classes and then even classes. You know, you would have like 1 through 8 or whatever. For all of my days, I literally had half a day. I would go into school, and by like 12 ish, like lunchtime, I'd go like I was done, and I would go home. But junior year, I ended up getting like after junior year finished, I got a summer job, and then I ended up getting like going back senior year and like had half days, and I would just go home after that. And my aunt was like, what are you doing at home? Like, do you not want a job? And that's how I literally got my job up until like I graduated. Like after I graduated high school, I was at that job for 3 years. So I think that's the I don't know. I feel like if I hadn't been in those classes and like leveled up real quick and like had the opportunity to like have half a day and just go to work straight afterwards, I probably would have never gotten the car because that's how I got the car in the first place. Like I worked summer and then like midway through whatchamacallit, senior year, and I saved all my money and I got myself a car, and I'm really proud of that. Although that car, rest in peace, it brought a lot of hell during its last few months because oh my, you know what, it sucks being, I've gone on several different tangents, but if you're entertained, great. But I've went through hell with that car. My first car was a Chevy Malibu with a hatchback with leather seats. First of all, leather seats in Florida, please, please, for the sake of your health, don't, or get seat covers, because that blazing heat, sometimes you forget. Sometimes even I forgot that I had leather seats. And when I would get in there, I would like bacon. I was just bacon. I was sizzling. I could literally hear my skin sizzling. And there'd be times where I would just forget and I would wear shorts. And like when I wear like long jeans or like pants or whatever, I wouldn't notice as much. Just like my arms from the seat would burn or the car would just be really hot. When I would wear shorts and like tank tops and I sat down in that car, I was pretty much just, I was roasted chicken, pretty much. It was so hot. I'm surprised I don't have like skin burns from that. Don't do leather seats in Florida unless you have some sort of like weather Florida grade leather seats that don't burn you, because that was awful. The hatchback, it just felt like a mom car to me in a sense. I don't know why. It just, although it did have a lot more space, like I could lean the seats back and like, I think, did I ever go to a drive-in with that? No, I didn't. But like I could lean the seats back and like move. I love me a hatchback now because I've moved literally my entire room from like my old apartment to like here. Whenever I've moved, I've always used my car and I've had enough space, tremendous space, and I love my little hatchback now. I have a Kia Soul. It's real cute. It's yellow. I wish it wasn't yellow, but it's growing on me now. But And my Malibu was a hatchback. It literally looked like a mom's car, and I hated it so much going to school with it. But I did have four wheels and an engine, and I could drive wherever I wanted to. So those who didn't have a car were jealous, and those who did have a car was like, ew, why couldn't you get a Honda or a Toyota? Anyways, but I did like that little car. Towards the end of it, it wasn't as new. It was new to me, but it wasn't that much of a new car. I think it was like a 2006 Chevy Malibu, and it had quite a lot of mileage. And see, you know what? You know how like there's sex education in high school, or was it middle school? You know how they have sex education in middle school? They need to have like a car education in high school for the adolescent, because it did not occur to me for the life of me that cars need oil changes. I thought you just put gas in it and that's it. And if you need to put brakes in it, you would hear that you would need brakes with it, or the car would just keep rolling and you would know. Nobody told me that I needed an oil change. Nobody told me about battery this. Nobody told me dip shit. Literally, problem after problem after problem kept happening to me for me to finally understand what to do with the car. So I think the first thing that happened was my oil. Like I needed an oil change, and I went, I kid you not, probably like 8 months or so once I bought the car. I never got an oil change. It never occurred to me. I didn't know what that was. I would see Jiffy Lube and all them whatever driving by, but I was like, I don't know what that is. My car is fine. Up to a certain point, I forgot what it was or how it happened. I don't remember what it was, but something was happening with my car, and a friend looked into my car, and they were looking at like the little stick. I didn't even know. I've never looked under that hood for the 8 months that I had, for the 8 months up until I started getting problems with it. I never looked up into the hood, and a friend literally pulled out the oil stick, and it's like, it's dry. There's literally no oil in my car. The fact that my car was still running with literally no oil, barely even a little bit, people were so amazed. They were just like, how? Do you know that your car needs oil changes? And I'm like, an oil change? What is that? So never knew that needed to happen. So I kind of semi messed up my car in that sense, but I did the whole oil thing and was fine. But I feel like up until a certain point, it was like a little too late. So then other things started happening with the car. There was this thing where I don't know how to explain it, but just I started to get a lot of problems with it, and it just started to frustrate me. And because I'm a female, I hate it just going to like a mechanic or something. Like they literally take advantage of girls, and it's so disgusting. It's so bad, and I have no respect for the men in those fields who do that to women. And it's been more than one person that I went to. I went to one literal, like I went to like a tire choice or whatever, where like they help and like fix your car or whatever if you need a problem. I went there, told me everything I needed to do, spent all this money, and my car was still messed up. So I was just like, what is this? And men, when they see a young girl, they try to mansplain you everything and just act like, well, you don't know, and this is what's going on. So now that I did this, I realized that this is another problem, when it probably was never a problem to begin with. So I was just like, you know what? No, I'm done here. I have a strong feeling you're taking advantage of me. So whatever, fine, just forget it. So I ended up going to another place. It was some sort of like family owned, or just like one person sort of owned, nice guy, Spanish guy. And I went to him, and I feel like he was genuinely trying to help me in a sense, but at the same time trying to make some money. And I can't dog him for him, because I can't dog him for it, because it was just him. But at the same time, I feel like I wasn't being helped to begin with. Like I wish one of the men would have just been honest with me and say, literally, I honestly don't know what's going on with this car, and it would probably be best for you to just sell it for junk money. You know what I mean? Nobody was honest with me, because they wanted to fix it for some reason, or just make me pay all this money that I didn't need to pay for. Because at the end of the day, that car, it was done for. I spent more than the car was worth to get it fixed, and it was still problematic. So one day I went to go pick it up, and I said, listen, because I didn't have my car, I would like literally like walk to work. So I was like, listen, I know that the car is so I think I probably owed him like $300 for something else that he did. And he's like, oh, it's fine now, you can go pick it up. But it wasn't really fine afterwards. Anyways, so I go, and I was like, hey, I don't have the money for it. I'm gonna get paid, but I need to drive the car even though it's bad in order to go to my job to get paid, which was a lie because my job was like literally within walking. It was in walking distance. It wasn't a comfortable walk, but it was in walking distance. So I was like, I need my car to go to work in order to make the money that I need to pay you back if you want me to pay you back. Like, I know the car doesn't work, but it works enough, like you said, for me to drive it and go to work. So can I just have the car? And he's like, yeah, just, just bring it back because we're not done and all this other stuff. I never went back to that man's mechanic shop. Never saw me, deleted his number, blocked his number. I never saw him again. I said, you are another a-hole that was trying to scam me for some money. I said, you know what, you know what I did? I literally sat that car in my driveway, and it sat for months up until I bought another car. Up until they told me, hey, like where I was living, like you can't just occupy cars space if the car is not being in use. Like you can't just have a junk car in the yard. So got to a point where I was like, so if you could I called 1-800, was it when I just called any random junk yard place, and I said, listen, I have a car, it doesn't work, I literally don't want it. You don't have to pay me for it. I think I had moved and I left the car there. Like I already had another car, and I literally moved to another place because the apartment that I was renting was also like starting to get run down or whatever. So I literally like left and forgot the car. And then the landlord messaged me like, hey, like I need you to get rid of, like move this car. And I'm like, oh yeah. I called the junk place and I said, listen, there's this car there. I literally don't have the time. Couldn't care less about you paying me for the car. I don't want it. I literally, you pick it up, do whatever you want with it, sell it. I don't care. I don't want it. I have a car, whatever. He's like, all right, cool. They're on their way to go get it. And then he calls me back. He's like, so you don't want to sell it, or like what's going on? Like, am I gonna get shot? Like, is this like a setup? Or I was like, okay, I didn't even think about it that way, but I understand. I was like, I literally don't want the car. I have another car. I don't live there anymore. It's like, I already took the car does not work. If you want to take it, please take it. If not, I'll call another place to come pick it up. I literally don't want it. And like, just take it, just pick it up. And he's like, all right. And I think I went back there probably like a week later and just like make sure that they took it, and they took it. So wherever that car is, may it rest in peace. I think her name was Suzanne. May she rest in peace. May she rest in peace. But I mean, I can't believe it. It did not cross my mind when they're like, am I gonna get shot? Is somebody gonna be there waiting for me? Or I was like, wait, what? I was like, just, it's a free car, just pick it up. I don't want it. But now that I'm thinking about it, free car and I don't want it, just pick it up, does kind of sound like a setup. Well then. But yeah. And then I ended up getting another car after that. The car was perfect, good on mileage. I think it probably was like, when I bought the car, it was a 2006 Chevy Impala. It didn't have a hatchback, it just had a normal little trunk. And with that, it didn't have that many miles. Probably like had like 40 or 50 miles on, like 50,000 miles on it. It was great. I think my friend that sold it to me told me that it used to be like a rental car. So it was just like to rent and go here and there. It wasn't like somebody's car. It's like, okay, cool, great. And that car was great and whatever. But like, I was so traumatized with the fact that the previous car that I had was from 2006 and it was so old. I was like, I don't even want to mess around with that anymore. Although the car was probably great and I still could probably get so much more use out of it than the car that I have now. But I feel a lot more secure in a newer car than this older car because of all that I went through. Probably a stupid logic, and I probably let go of a good car that probably would have lasted me longer with all the little less mileage that it had. But I was like, I'm gonna upgrade. I think my car is 2014, couple years older. It's not that new, but it's still new to me, and I feel a lot more comfortable and safer and a lot more secure in that car than I did in the other cars, because mind you, they're older models, and just the way that they were built is not the same as they were built now. So yeah, I had to upgrade. But yeah, I've been through a lot. I could honestly probably write a book or have like a documentary just of like my life from like 17 up until like now. It's been a fucking whirlwind, and like 17 from 17 to 22, it's a short amount of time, and a lot has happened. Man, you know what, I probably might just make a podcast about it, but my life was crazy. My battery's dying. I'll be right back after this intermission. I think I finally made it past the hour mark, and I've officially ran out of things to say. Well, I do have things to say, but like I gotta save it for other episodes, because gotta try and hit that hour mark. That's the new goal right now, so at least get an hour. I could do 40 minutes, no problem. It's the extra 20 minutes that is just, I don't know. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this video, or with this video. I had a lot of fun with this podcast. I'm really enjoying my little background that I made. I just feel a lot more just professional. I just feel a lot more contained and polished, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but I am here now, and hopefully things are smoothly for the next couple of episodes. Again, mini-sodes are coming. I just have to generalize the concept and just, you know, kind of get it together, because mini-sodes are something that I do want to be like topic based. Like I just don't want to have like, if I just want to have like, I just want it to make sense, you know what I mean? Like my regular main episodes, whatever, calm, cool, collected, whatever it is, but like I want to have like little mini episodes here and there that I could like publish whenever, you know, on a Sunday or whatever, just when somebody needs like to listen to something and waste time for like 30 minutes. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That is coming. I just have to figure out the logistics of that, having my YouTube channel, whatever. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. It is youtube.com/Genesis the Misfit 1. I'm pretty sure. If not, just search up Genesis the Misfit and I'll probably come up in there somewhere. Just look for my face. Hello. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that this episode brought you some sort of joy. I hope it helped you waste or procrastinate whatever you needed to procrastinate. And yeah, I cannot wait to talk to you guys next week. I guess this is it. I don't know how to end it after I've been talking forever, so okay, bye.